Hello, and welcome to Field Lab Earth, the podcast that's all about past and present advances in the fields of agronomic, crop, soil, and environmental sciences. Today is our birthday. Not only that, but it's also our 5-year anniversary and our 100th episode. To celebrate, we've had DJ May, host of our sister Decode 6 podcast, to come on and interview me about some of our fondest memories from the last 5 years. As always, we also have our blooper reel, which follows right after the interview. Thank you so much for listening these past 5 years. It's been an incredible ride. Here's to more.
Abby, I am so excited to be here. I'm DJ May, host of the Decode 6 podcast, which is a show all about answering questions about carbon, ecosystem services, and regenerative agriculture for growers and their advisors. You can check us out at decode6.org or by searching for the Decode 6 podcast in your favorite podcast provider. Now for the fun stuff. In case you didn't know, Abby Morrison is the publication's content and operations specialist for ASA, CSSA, and SSSA, as well as our beloved host of Field Lab Earth, which launched in June of 2018. Abby has a web analyst/programmer degree from Madison Area Technical College and has previously worked in graphics and web departments, food, and retail. She didn't want me to tell you, but she was a Subway sandwich artist. She loves writing, reading, and dancing in her free time and is an absolute fiend for loose leaf tea. And if you were wondering what her superpower is, it's being the most easily delightable person in the world. So Abby, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Slight correction, I actually wasn't a sandwich artist because you have to take a class, and I wasn't that fancy. So,
oh, no.
Yeah, it's like a whole thing. It's a big deal. So,
well, you know what? I never would have known had you not corrected me.
I gotta aspire. I gotta reach higher in my life.
Your aspirational sandwich artist career.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, next time around. So. It's your 100th episode. Tell me, what is the most surprising thing you've ever learned from a guest over the past 100 episodes?
Yeah, so I actually scrolled through the back catalog today when I was thinking about this question. And first of all, was super overwhelmed that I've been able to do this as long. So thank you for everyone who supported us along the way. It's been super great. And golly, we've learned so many fun things. And we've learned about oysters, the Great Barrier Reef. There was an episode with Dan Ferreira about the Fukushima and Daiichi nuclear situation, and I learned a lot then. We did some about oil remediation and wild pigs. Anything with wetlands was super interesting. So, but the main thing that I want to shout out every person. So I'm sneaking them in as I go along. But I think the most surprising thing that I've learned is just how complicated all of this stuff is, because I think growing up in Wisconsin, I've seen a lot of farms, a lot of dairy farms, a lot of even just ranches and things like that, corn, soybean. It's a big deal here. And I think I just thought it was kind of like gardening, where you plant things and then you water them. And I didn't even fertilize my plants until last year. Made a big difference. So I think learning the complexity not only of farming and farming well, farming sustainably, farming wisely, increasing yields, all that, but also like economic decisions that farmers constantly have to weigh. And yeah, they're the best. They are the true superheroes of this show. Also every guest I've ever had. So you're just all amazing. But yeah, just how complex everything is, and the deep thought and passion and research that goes into improving our systems has just really blown me away and humbled me and made me a better human for learning about it.
No, totally. Yeah. Yep. I completely agree. I had no idea either. And then you start chatting with people who've made this their life's work, and it's like, wow, you are doing the most. There's so much that goes into it.
Yeah, I love you guys. You're the best.
Fantastic. So, okay, if you had to pick just a few moments that have been your favorite since this series began way back in 2018, can you give us like your highlight reel?
Yeah. So, everybody, obviously, but I had to narrow it down. I think we've done a couple episodes with Vikram Baliga, and he is a delight. He's a great science communicator, slowly but surely becoming a TikTok star for his reaction videos to super sus science videos. But he's the nicest guy. He's so funny. I've been able to badger my way into being on his show a couple of times, so that's been a delight. I consider him a friend. And so he's been really great. Dan Ferreira, I mentioned, he is just also super funny and personable. And I was so nervous about doing that episode because it was like, here's chemistry for nuclear things and soil. And the soil episodes can sometimes get tricky because it is so soil physics-y. And one of my greatest regrets in life is not taking physics in high school. If you're in high school, don't do that. And so I was so nervous because I was like, I'm not going to do well following. And he was so good at explaining things on a level that I just immediately understood everything. And then Christina Hargis and Paula Como, we did a 2-part episode because I just got so greedy for the conversation to keep going that we had to split it into 2. And they were talking about plant blindness, and it went into like Harry Potter and cryptography and just all these weird side avenues. And they were also just awesome people. But I was like, I'm going to just let this podcast run as long as it needs to for me to be satisfied and chop it into 2 if I need to. And I did. So those were some of them that were just really fun. I know you have a question coming up that'll pull in some other ones, but just generally, the coolest moments for me is when I'm talking to people about their work and I can tell how passionate they are. I love talking to people about their passion. That's one of my favorite things to do. So this is an ideal situation for me to be in, to be paid to do this for my living. So I think getting to just see that passion come out is really inspiring. And the anniversary and blooper reels are really fun to do just because I'm a goober and I make a lot of weird mouth noises. But those are also just reminders to me of how far we've come and how lucky I am to be able to do this, how awesome it is to be supported by the listeners who have been willing to listen to me say like and kind of and sort of on repeat for like 5 years straight as my crutch words. It has been really, really great. So
yeah. So just a slight twist on that last question. Who has been the person you've talked to that maybe changed your perspective the most or was the most thought-provoking? Like, sure. Maybe you went in and you thought you knew something and you didn't, or like, tell me about that.
Sure. I mean, I go into everyone assuming I don't know anything, and I usually don't. So that's been great. No, I actually picked 2 for this one. Gosh, I'm like feeling emotions. So one of them is Bill Ron, and so he sadly passed away since our interview. But Bill Ron, when I first started at the societies, we had our editors conference where we bring in all the editors of the journals to just talk about different issues the journals are facing, how they want to grow, if there's new policies they need to implement, things like that. And he was at my first one, and as soon as I saw him, I was like, I want to talk to that dude really bad. And I don't know what it was about him, but I was just like immediately drawn to Bill Ron. I still have his business card hanging up in my cube that he gave me that day. And so when I started the podcast, I was like, I want to talk to Bill Ron. And it took a while, but he worked on this hand planter for people in developing countries that have landscapes that just will not accommodate mechanized agriculture. It's not going to happen. And so they have to plant seeds by hand. And so that ends up, they use a stick to stab into the ground. They pull out a seed, drop it in, and cover it with their foot, and then keep going. And the problem is that the seeds get seed treatments on them, which are really great for seeds, and they're really not so good for humans. And they don't want to wear gloves because it's really hot and it's harder. It makes it harder for them. And so he spent 30 years working with OK State engineering students and teachers to develop this planter that they can just put all the seeds in a tube and just stab it in. And each time it stabs in, it will only have one seed. So they're not having missed holes. They're not having double seeds. And he spent like 30 years of his life working on this. And what was really inspiring about that is he's done so many papers about just his other research. And we could have talked about any of those things. And he was very well accomplished. And he was like, no, I want to feed people. I'm super emotional. I knew this was going to happen. But he spent like 30 years of his life being like, I don't want people to be sick and I want them to be fed. And just working so diligently to help these people. And that was like all he wanted to talk about for his entire episode was like helping people. So that was really cool. Gonna try and like bring it back together, but we'll probably cry over this next person too. So my other person is Ratan Lal, and so he was a World Food Prize winner. And so first of all, it was just an honor to get to talk to somebody. For people who aren't familiar with the World Food Prize, it's basically the Nobel Prize of agriculture, because the Nobel Prize, they can't add new categories. They're just like, these are the ones we do. They're not allowed to add new categories. So Norman Borlaug was like, yeah, but we should have something. So he developed the World Food Prize. And so I, on occasion, get to talk to these people. And Ratan Lal is all about soil health. And I remember just getting teary while he was talking because he's so dedicated to just caring for the planet. And he talks a lot about it takes a lot longer to fix it than just take care of what we have. And he's like, people from all different people groups and faiths and whatever, like we all need to care about this together. And he's so calm and wise. He's just the chillest, nicest person. I was so humbled that he would take time when he was in the midst of getting all of the interview requests for the World Food Prize. But he's just so sage that I was just floored to the point of tears by how profound the things that he was saying were, and also just that I got to be involved with that. Yeah. So those were two like really, really meaningful interviews that I was able to do out of this that apparently still make me super emotional.
Oh. No, they are really amazing though. They're amazing. Okay, just a slight curveball. Hopefully this one doesn't, doesn't get you in the feels. What are you most looking forward to with, say, the next 100 episodes?
Gosh, I mean, I think for me, I'm always excited for the next interview because I get so excited to talk to these people, and I have coworkers who know that I'll finish an interview and I'll just immediately jump in our group chat and be like, oh my God, this person is the best. They're so cool. Because my guests are the nicest people. They're so nice. They're so knowledgeable. They're so dedicated to research that makes a profound difference on the planet that we live on. They're just the coolest people. So I think I'm always excited to learn about what they are doing. I'm always excited to get to talk to people about the thing that really revs their motor the most. And there was another thing about that I'm very excited about all the time. And I got so excited I forgot. But yeah, I think, yeah, just like celebrating them. That's the thing that I'm excited for, because I think these people are super rad and we need to get the word out. I think a lot of people just don't know what agronomy or crop and soil science is for, what it does, all the cool things that you can do that are tied to it that you would never expect. So yeah, but mostly just I'm excited for the next 100 interviews.
Perfect. All right, it's time for the final three. I have 3 questions left for you. First question, if listeners want to learn more about Field Lab Earth, where can they go?
Yeah, so my biggest recommendation would be to sign up for our newsletter, and we can include a link in the show notes for how to do that, or just go on our website and you'll find links for that. So yeah, every episode I have a little, this is why we chose this topic, which you won't get anywhere else, but it also just alerts you of any special things that are going on. So yeah, that would probably be the best. You can follow us on Twitter also to get information that way. But yeah, the newsletter is the place to be.
Perfect. And then second question, if people want to take the next step and get involved, what can they do?
Yeah, so rating and reviewing us or spreading the word about our show to every human you see on the street is really helpful. Don't be weird about it. Just casually accost everyone you see on the street. No, don't do that. But do spread the word. Rating and reviewing helps us. But more importantly is we just want to hear from you. So if there's things you like about the show or don't like about the show, let us know. You can email us. You can reach out on Twitter. Also, topic ideas. I just got an email from a guy named Joe. He's one of our CCAs. He's a listener. Hello, Joe. Shout out to you. I just waved at you. You'll not see that, but I did it. And he was like, hey, you should cover this. So it's on our potential topics list. We obviously, don't guarantee that, but yeah, it does help us to know what kinds of things that you all are interested in. So please send in your ideas and feedback.
Perfect. And then the final question. What is one fun fact that listeners wouldn't know about you if all they had to go on was the podcast?
Yeah. So my fun fact is that I'm also an author. So I've always wanted to be an author for my whole life. And this last August 2022, I was finally able to make that a reality. And I self-published my first novel. It's called The Yochni's Eye, Yochni. And it's a young adult fantasy novel, and people have really liked it so far and been really kind. And it's my little baby, and I'm super proud of it and excited to share it with people. So that's my fun fact.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for having me, Abby, and congrats on 100 episodes. That's amazing.
Thank you very much, and thanks for being willing to interview me.
Anytime.
And now, the blooper reel. Okay, so then, hang on, time out. Oh, hang on, I lost your bio. Okay, clouded for its use in rechargeable batteries for electric vehicles and electronics. However, with lithium is a chemical element that has recently gained much attention for its use in rechargeable. Lithium is a chemical element and microbial communities. Breeding better edamame variety. Bose paper, VT suite of. All right. And, sorry. I started speaking and I was like, that's not what I say next. So, and also our dog is ringing the bell to go outside. Sorry. Hello, and welcome to Field Lab Earth, the podcast that's all about past and present advances in... Gibbs, really? Did I lose you? Okay, you're still there. Good. You froze up on me for a second. I just want to make sure I didn't lose you. Okay, third timeout of the episode. Did you have a second fun fact? I didn't want to cut you off if you were going to give another one. But, I don't need another one if you don't want to. In this episode, as part 2 of our mini-series on the Clean Water Act, Dr. Welcome to the show. Can you start us? Today, we'll be talking to Leandro. Oh, I love this. My heart is just singing. I'm so happy about all of this. Orgasma Technologies, the GT5000 Terra is a robust and portable Okay, well, we got the silly question out of the way right off the bat. So, hi everyone, and welcome to the wow, it's a hard start for me. Hi everyone, welcome to the wow, again, okay. I promise I'm a professional at this. Oh shoot, did I forget? Give me a second. Today, we'll be talking to Dr. Vikram Baliga about... Throughout history, humans have battled some pretty scary This episode, Vikram walks us through some of the scary adaptations these This episode, Alex discusses her work studying the rooting systems and environmental and biofuel crops. Biofuel. What? Whoop. Yep. Too fast. Thank you for being our The GT5000 Terra is a splash-proof IP54 rated. The GT5000 Terra is The GT5000 Terra is splash-proof IP4. These plants have a lot of positives going for them, but with longer growing seasons going head-to-head with decreasing water budgets and the economic... Therefore, there's a lot to learn about how to project... Therefore, Dr. Graduate and undergraduate society student members to... Sorry. No, I thought it was great. Clearly, I'm the one who fumbled. It's just like... Couldn't read my script this morning. Fruit type. Fruit shape. Oh boy. Sorry, I'm gonna try and bring my brain back into focus before I rabbit trail too hard on that. Yeah, that was weird. It like told me that I was muted, but then it said it was fine, and that's when I started talking and you told me I was muted, so I don't know what happened there. Technology. An agronomic performance. He is a Valdivia, Chile, Universidad Austral, and I'll re-record that so it's not as bad because I stumbled. Wow, sorry, I misread my notes. It was like, where am I? Sorry. I think most people are probably aware of what that is. I immediately was like, I kind of know what that is, which makes me suspect maybe we should define it. Very advanced economics going on. Carbon is the new money. So let me reread the question just in normal, non-podcast voice. We got time. I have time anyway. I don't know if you have meetings afterwards. Do you think it's valuable, given the acrobatics that may be required editing-wise? Should we just start from the top, or do you not want to start from the top? And if it's, like, annoying to have to redo it, we can just do the one question. It's fine. Teachers had to rapidly adapt agriculture and innovative... Published in Crop Science is always freely available. That's not... true. Oh, it is true. Yep. Hang on, I thought I had something. I just get so excited that my brain just like locks up. Draining or published in the fields of corn belt dent maize. Plant breeders know. So, I would like to have, like, a mid-recording, like, strategy session. It might be helpful to have, like, a bottom line question on, like, the verdict on cover crops from this research. And I feel like the answer is, like, they just be smart in how you use them and, you know, remember other things. Does that make sense? Is that, like, a fair, reasonable thing? Okay, good. I sometimes will ask a question that negates a later question, so I need to be careful that I don't then ask the negated question, which I've done before. Thank you for allowing additional timeouts. I think I got it. Okay. Let me spool my brain back just a little bit. Okay. And reel it back in. Ta-da! Okay. Thank you for listening to Field Lab Earth. More information can be found in the description below. Thank you!